If you live alone, listen to me for just a moment. This isn't a lecture. This is a conversation I wish someone had with me 20 years ago. My name is Eleanor. I'm 79, and I know what it's like to wake up in a quiet house and realize that the silence isn't peaceful anymore. It's heavy. I know what it's like to have a whole conversation with yourself just to hear a voice, and then realize it's been yours for 3 days straight. I remember the exact moment I knew things had to change. It was a Thursday. I dropped a glass in the kitchen. It shattered everywhere. And I just stood there in the middle of all that broken glass and thought, if I cut myself, if I fall, how long would it be before anyone found me? That question, that cold, hard question, it stopped me in my tracks. And it forced me to take a long, hard look at the life I was building in my solitude. A life that was slowly becoming dangerous. So today, I want to share the things I've learned to avoid, the traps I almost didn't see until it was too late. If you're living alone, or know you will be someday, please stay with me. The first thing you must avoid is the slow fade from the world. It's not a dramatic exit. You don't one day decide to be a hermit. It happens one missed phone call at a time, one I'm too tired to go at a time. You stop going to church, you stop meeting your friend for coffee, you stop answering the phone because you just don't have the energy for small talk. And then, one day, you realize the only person who has said your name out loud in a week was the cashier at the grocery store who read it off your credit card. That is a dangerous, dangerous place to be. Isolation doesn't just make you lonely. It makes you invisible. And when you start to feel invisible, you stop believing you matter. You have to fight for your place in the world. You have to be intentional. Call someone even if you have nothing to say. Go somewhere even if you just sit and watch. Don't let yourself disappear. The second thing to avoid is treating your health like an afterthought. When my Harold was alive, he'd notice if I was moving slower. He'd say, "Nora, you're favoring your left leg. What's wrong?" Now there's no one to notice. No one to say, "Have you taken your blood pressure pill today?" So you start to let things slide. "I'll make that appointment next week. It's just a little ache. It'll pass." Most people miss this, but your body becomes a very quiet liar when you're alone. It will tell you everything is fine, right up until the moment it isn't. I ignored a little dizziness for months, told myself it was nothing. Then one morning I stood up from my chair and the room spun. I caught myself on the counter, but just barely. That was my wake-up call. You have to become your own nagging husband. You have to put the appointments on the calendar. You have to check the date on your pill bottle. You are the only watchdog you've got. Number 3 is a big one. Avoid pretending you're still 50. I don't mean your spirit. Your spirit can be 25. I mean your body and your home. You have to look at your environment with new eyes. Those beautiful braided rugs you've had for 40 years, they're ankle breakers now. That step down into the garage, it's a hazard in the dark. I knew a lovely woman, Patricia, from my old neighborhood. She was sharp as a tack, still drove herself everywhere. But she tripped on a loose corner of carpet in her hallway. Just a little stumble. But she grabbed for a bookshelf to steady herself, and it wasn't secured to the wall. It came down on top of her. She was trapped there, underneath her own books, for hours. A simple, silly accident that turned into a nightmare because the house wasn't set up for someone who might, just for a second, lose their balance. We have to prepare for the stumble we hope never comes. Get the grab bars. Get the good lights. Get rid of the pretty dangers. Your home should be your safest place, not an obstacle course. This next point is crucial. Number 4, avoid eating like you're invisible. After Harold passed, cooking felt pointless. Who was I making a beautiful meal for? Just me. So I'd stand at the counter and eat a piece of toast with jam for dinner. Or I'd have a bowl of cereal and call it a night. It's easy, it's quick, and it's a slow poison. You start to lose your strength, your energy, and you don't even connect it to the food. You just think, I'm getting old. This is just how it feels. But it's not true. I started a little ritual. Every evening, no matter what, I set the table. A placemat, a real plate, a glass, a knife and fork, even if I was just having soup and a grilled cheese. That small act of setting a place for myself was a way of saying, I am here, I matter, and I deserve a real meal. It changes something in your mind. You stop treating yourself like an afterthought. Number 5, avoid letting your house become a museum of your past. This is a hard one. Our homes are filled with memories. Harold's old jacket, still hanging in the closet. The kids' rooms, exactly as they left them. You keep everything because letting it go feels like letting go of them. But here's the truth I learned. Your memories don't live in their things. They live in you. When you are surrounded by stuff you don't use, that you don't need, that just gathers dust, it starts to weigh you down. It's like the house itself is holding its breath. I spent one whole winter with my daughter Sarah. We went through everything, room by room. We kept the treasures. His watch, my mother's china, a few photos. But we let go of the rest. And when it was done, the house felt lighter. It could breathe again. And so could I. I hadn't just cleaned out a closet. I had made room for my present life. Don't let your home become a beautiful, dusty prison of what used to be. And number 6, avoid losing your reason to get dressed in the morning. This is about purpose. And purpose doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be saving the world. It just has to be something. After I retired, I felt adrift. I was a wife, a mother, a teacher. Then in a few short years, I was none of those things. I'd wake up and feel this heavy emptiness. What was I supposed to do with all these hours? I found my answer in a little garden. My neighbor, a young woman named Chloe, was struggling with her vegetable patch. She was pregnant, tired all the time. One day I just went over and started weeding. I didn't ask, I just did it. Now I help her with the garden. I show her how to can the tomatoes. And those little green things growing out there, they need me. They need water. They need care. And that tiny simple need gave me a reason to get up, get dressed, and step outside. You need something that says, the world isn't done with you yet. Number 7, avoid the lie of total self-sufficiency. We are proud. We women of this generation. We raised children. We ran households. We worked. We are masters of I can do it myself. But living alone, that pride can become a dangerous wall. I was terrible at this. My son would call and say, Mom, I can come over and fix that leaky faucet. I'd say, no, I'll call a plumber. But I wouldn't. I'd just live with the drip. Drip, drip. My daughter would offer to drive me to a doctor's appointment, and I'd say I'm perfectly capable of driving myself. Even when my eyes weren't as good at night, if this message resonates with you, if you've ever felt that stubborn pride rising up, take a second to like this video and comment, I can ask for help, below. Because admitting you need help isn't a weakness. It's one of the strongest things you can do. The truth is, my stubbornness was just fear. Fear of being a burden. Fear of seeming weak. But one day I couldn't get the lid off a jar. I twisted and twisted until my hands were sore. And I just sat down at the kitchen table and cried. I cried because I was so angry at a stupid jar. And in that moment I realized I wasn't angry at the jar. I was angry at myself for making my life so hard. I picked up the phone and called my neighbor. She came over and opened it in 2 seconds. We laughed about it. And that laugh was medicine. Don't build a wall so high that no one can climb over it to help you. Number 8, avoid the financial fog. So many of us, we let our husbands handle the money. It was just the way things were. When Harold died, I had checkbooks and statements in a shoebox. I didn't know what we had, where it was, or who to pay. It was terrifying. I was afraid to open the mail. I paid bills late because I couldn't find them. I was a capable woman, but I felt completely helpless when it came to my own money. You must understand your finances. You don't need to be an expert, but you need to know what's coming in and what's going out. You need to know where the important papers are. Get help from a trusted child or a financial advisor, but sit at the table with them. Ask questions. Learn, because financial confusion creates anxiety, and anxiety eats away at your peace. You've earned this peace. Protect it by knowing your numbers. Number 9, avoid being caught off guard. We think emergencies happen to other people, but the storm doesn't care how old you are or if you live alone. Last winter we had an ice storm. The power went out in the middle of the night. I woke up to a freezing, pitch-black house. I fumbled for a flashlight. The batteries were dead. I tried to use my phone as a light. It was at 10%. I sat there, in the dark and cold, wrapped in every blanket I had, and I felt so foolish and so scared. The next day I made an emergency kit. Flashlights with fresh batteries, a battery-powered radio, canned food I could eat cold, bottles of water, a power bank for my phone, and a list of emergency numbers written on paper, because your phone is useless when it's dead. This isn't being paranoid. This is being kind to your future self. It's giving yourself the gift of safety. Do it now, before you need it. Number 10, avoid letting your routine dissolve. When you don't have to be anywhere, it's easy to let the days blur together. You wake up, you sit in your robe, you watch a little TV, and suddenly it's 3 p.m. and you haven't brushed your teeth. The week disappears. You lose track of time, and when you lose track of time, you start to feel unmoored, like you're just floating. I created what I call my anchor points. Every Monday I go to the library. Every Wednesday I call my sister in Florida. Every Friday I do my grocery shopping. They are small, unexciting things, but they give my week a skeleton. They are points in time that I can hold on to. They remind me that I have a place in the flow of the week. A routine isn't a cage. It's a gentle framework that keeps you from drifting away. And finally, number 11, avoid holding on so tight you can't move forward. This is the last thing, and maybe the most important. I'm talking about the grief, the memories, the what-ifs. After Harold died, I replayed his last days in my head, over and over. I held on to the guilt, the sadness, the fear. I thought if I stopped feeling those things, it would mean I'd stopped loving him. I was using my pain as a way to keep him close. But one day my little granddaughter, Lily, She was drawing at my kitchen table. She looked up and said, "Grandma, why are you always sad? Don't you know Grandpa is happy you're still here?" Out of the mouth of babes. In that moment, I realized that my grief wasn't honoring him. It was dimming the light that I still had. He wouldn't have wanted that. He would have wanted me to laugh, to love, to live. Holding on to the past so tightly stops you from being present for the life that is still happening right now, all around you. Let the grief visit, but don't let it move in permanently. Living alone is a journey I never expected to take. There are mornings when the quiet is exactly what I need. There are evenings when it feels like too much. But I've learned that being alone doesn't mean being less. It means being everything. The gardener, the cook, the bill payer, the comfort giver, the friend. It means discovering a strength you never knew you had. I'm not here to tell you it's easy. I'm here to tell you it's possible. You can be alone without being lonely. You can be independent without being isolated. You can build a life in this new season that is full of peace and purpose and even joy. So take care of yourself. Light the candle, set the table, call a friend, and remember that your story isn't over. Not by a long shot. Thank you for sitting with me today. If you'd like to sit with me again, I'll be here, just living my life, one day at a time. Be good to yourselves.